Hello, do you see that water over there? That's what we're going to talk about today. Chaim Walewski here from Chabad, Family Programs of the West Side. And that water inspired me. See that forceful fountain bursting forth? So that's what Yitzchak did. Yitzchak, our forefather Yitzchak, Abraham's son, the Torah talks about him less than about any other of the forefathers. And the one thing it says about him was occupation. What he did was he was a well digger. Look at that water. You see that water? So this is what happens. The Rebbe, in a beautiful talk in the early 60s, spoke about what Yitzchak did. And he says, what is the function of a well digger? A well digger is somebody who uncovers a force, a powerful force of life that is hidden, that is buried underground. And the Rebbe explains that sometimes it's covered by mistake, sometimes it's covered on purpose, sometimes people want to keep it covered. And the Rebbe talks about this and says, in a beautiful way, how it's a story of our lives, what happened with Yitzchak. So the Torah describes 3 wells that Yitzchak dug. 3 were his well diggers. The first one was called Esek, the other one was Sitna, or vice versa, and the third one was Rehovot. So what happened was that Yitzchak lived under the authority of the king Avimelech, or the king of Gerar in Plishtim. And his well diggers argued and fought with the king's well diggers about whose waters these are. And the first 2, they ended in a fight, in a battle. And they said, it belongs to us, the king's men. It's not yours, it belongs to us. And the third one, and they were named, by the way, with the fight. Esek and Sitna means fighting and rivalry and hatred. And the third well was Rehovot. It was clear to all, including the king Avimelech and his people, that this is Yitzchak's well. So the Rebbe says, this concept of digging wells twice and losing them, and then digging a third one and acquiring it and achieving your goal, is a story of our lives in many ways. Globally, said it was God requested from us, Asuli Mikdash v'shechanti betucha, make for me a dwelling place. So the Jewish people built one Beit HaMikdash in Israel, and it lasted for 410 years. That was well number 1, but then it was destroyed. There was a gullet for 70 years, and they built a second one, well number 2, and that lasted for 420 years, longer than the first, but not eternal. And then we are working now to build a third Beit HaMikdash, the third Holy Temple, with the coming of Mashiach. That will be well number 3. Well number 3's name was Rehovot. Rehovot means expansion, wideness, basically everything good. And the Ramban, actually, the Rebbe quotes the Ramban as saying that these 3 wells are named after the 3 Beit HaMikdash, holy temples. So that's the waterfall that we're trying to achieve over here. We're trying to, a little water over there, you can see it across the water, a burst forth of the water that we're trying to achieve. So the Rebbe says this is in a global sense, but also in a personal sense, between ourselves and our own lives, and also in the way we approach and experience ourselves trying to help others, our friends, family, friends. So sometimes you yourself, you have an awakening of a spirit, You were down for a while for whatever reason, and then you wake up and you have energy. But like in the story of Yitzchak, the plishtim, they come and take your energy. You channel your energy elsewhere, not in a good place. And sometimes that happens with a friend whom we are trying to help become closer to God and to Yiddishkeit and to Judaism and to themselves. The Rebbe says sometimes you meet somebody, you talk to them, you study with them, you learn with them, and you wake them up from their slumber. And then what happens? They take that energy, that their newfound or new regained, new revealed energy, and they use it elsewhere. And that could be painful for you, for us, to think about, to hear, to experience, to realize that the effort that you put in went elsewhere. Says the Rebbe, try again. Well, number 2. And even if that fails for yourself, for another person, try again. Well, number 3. Third time you got it. You're gonna nail it at the third time, says the Rebbe. And it's just a beautiful thought. And he says the water is the Be'er Mayim Chaim, it's the Pintel Yid that we have inside of us. That's the water that we need to reveal. And sometimes it's covered by mistake because people weren't raised in the Jewish tradition. Sometimes it's covered on purpose, somebody who was raised in the Jewish tradition, but as a rebel, with or without a cause, OTD. And says the Rebbe, that water is always there. It's inside us. We just need to reveal it. And how do we reveal it? The Rebbe gives a formula, very simple. Says there are permissible things in this world and there are forbidden. We elevate the permissible and avoid the forbidden. Simple as that. That which is permissible, elevate it. Whatever we do, add holiness to it. You're going to eat something, drink something, you're going to do a transaction, invest holiness in that transaction, in that food, in that drink, and whatever you're doing. If it's forbidden, stay away. That's the story for today. I found it beautiful, and I hope you do. Share it with a friend, why don't you? Elevate the permissible. Facebook is videos, technology is the realm of permissible. Elevate it by sharing it with a friend. God bless you. And awaken your own well.